Pliskova, Czechia.
Hello and welcome to finals day at the Porsche Tennis Grand Prix. The draw was jam-packed with top-ranked talent at the start of the week, but after many thrills and spills, we have been left with two perhaps surprising clay court finalists. With the brilliant, unpredictable nature of the WTA, there aren't too many things you can guarantee, but today I can assure everyone that we will see plenty of big serves, big winners, and overall big tennis as Coco Vandewegue and Karolina Pliskova do battle. Yes, there should be some fireworks in this one, so make sure you are sat comfortably for the next couple of hours or so. Pete Hodges here in the commentary box, and once again I've been joined by Claire Curran. Claire, just how much are you looking forward to this final?
Well, this is the match that about 2 rounds ago in the quarterfinals we started to think, was it possible? Highly unlikely maybe at the start of the week, Coco Vandewegue making this clay court final, but her performances so far in the tournament have been exemplary. Pliskova, well, she's heading back on form, booming down the aces as we expect from her. But she's been very calm in her performances. There's going to be a lot of big serving today.
There is indeed, yeah, and as you say, at the start of the week, thinking it was probably going to be clay court specialists in the final. Okay, it's an indoor tournament, but I mean, it has been amazing just how both of these players have performed. I mean, particularly in the semi-finals, where it was relatively comfortable for each player.
Well, it was, but I think we've got to maybe make a special notice to Coco Vandewegue and her performances in this tournament so far. What's really impressed me, we talk a lot about her serve, but it's actually the way in which she has attacked the second serve returns. And I think that's been a big element of her success here. She's really had a good look at and great opportunities to break service games. Will she get those today? Obviously against one of the finest servers in the world.
And she's just won the toss there and elected to receive, which both of these players have been doing all week. They usually come out and say to serve first, two very confident players behind their serve, but Vandewegue just wanting a chance, maybe hoping that Pliskova will come out cold. But yeah, as you say, what a week it's been for each player, really. Vandewegue had only won one singles WTA match coming into the tournament, yet she's beaten 3 top 10 players on her road to the final. She's blown the majority of those away. Her toughest match actually came against Laura Siegemund, who's the defending champion. It really has been electric tennis from the American. Looking to become the first American winner of this tournament since 2005 in Lindsay Davenport. And as for Pliskova, she would be the first Czech winner here in Stuttgart. So much on the line. German-Russian allegiance, who have dominated the tournament in recent years, is going to be broken, that's for sure. So it is Coco Vandewegue, the American wildcard, up against Karolina Pliskova, the 5th seed here at the Porsche Arena in Stuttgart. First premier event of the European clay court swing. So guaranteed winners in this one. Guaranteed big serves too. And it's been brilliant, hasn't it, watching Vandewegue, not just on the tennis court, Claire, but also off the court. I mean, she's always so refreshing in the interviews. She said maybe she's got a great-grandfather who has German heritage. That possibly is one of the reasons she might have done well here. She's also said it's clay. She's still not enjoying it at all when she was speaking to Pat Cash in one of the changeovers. But surely, if she wins this tournament, her love affair with clay may be just bubbling a little bit more.
Oh, I think she's got a slight love affair with this surface. She is so refreshing. She's been here for over a week, obviously. She's played quite a lot of clay court tennis beforehand, playing in the Fed Cup before this event. But what was amazing to me is whenever she was playing against Halep and she won the first set, she didn't even realize that she had won the first set, and that indicates that she's really in the zone. She's playing point by point. She's not thinking about the big picture, but obviously this is a final and it's a premier event. It would be a huge scalp for her today to win this match, and it would be interesting to see, can she maintain that focus and that calmness that was seen throughout the week.
Yeah, focus has been the word, isn't it, that Pat Cash has used with her time and time again whenever he's come onto the court. That's been her road to the final, as I mentioned there. 3 top 10 wins, including that win over the current world number 1, Simona Halep, in the quarterfinals. Beat Sloane Stephens, a Fed Cup teammate, won and loved in the first round, and that really set the tone for the tournament. Siegmund, the only player to take a set off her. And it's actually been pretty similar in terms of the passage and the amount of time spent on court between the two players. It's been 5 hours and 51 for Coco Vandewegue. And Karolina Pliskova has spent just 8 minutes more, 5 hours and 59 minutes on the court. Being the 5th seed, she also had to play in the first round. Of course, the top 4 seeds here had a bye in round 1. And we're talking, coming into this one, it's been a steady year for Pliskova, but this is her first final of 2018. She's reached the semis in Brisbane, the quarterfinals of the Australian Open, Dubai, Miami, and Indian Wells. But this time finally breaking through on a clay court. She has had a bit of success on the clay before. Won Prague in 2015, runner-up in Nuremberg 2014, French Open semi-finalist, of course, last year. She's grown up on the surface, but it's certainly not been her favourite surface. But how much do you feel that experience that she had here in this arena in the Fed Cup has helped her out this week?
Well, it would have definitely helped her. She would now be in Stuttgart. This will be approaching, coming up to 2 weeks here. She's had a lot of time on the indoor clay court surface, and obviously I think the indoors really helps her. She's got a big serve and those big returns, but she will be desperate to win her first title of the year because she's been accustomed to that type of success, and she will feel a little bit of pressure with that, but she'll obviously be very confident about the way that she served and also the way she's handled the matches. She's been very calm as well.
Yeah, claimed her first top 10 win of the year as well against Ostapenko. And then we've got this fascinating head-to-head record. And how much can we read into this? The last 4 meetings, incidentally, the first set has been won on the tie-break by either player, and whoever's won that first set has then gone on to win the second set. So starting this match well is going to be implicit.
I think the first set is exceptionally important, and it's really because of the pressure that you're under when you're facing a big returner. Both coaches will be wanting their player to hold their serve with relative ease throughout the match, not to put themselves under too much pressure. And I think that's what we've seen definitely in the match that these two played last year in Stuttgart that Pliskova won. She was able to just put a little bit more pressure on those service games of Vandewegue in that first set, and ultimately when it came down to the tiebreaker, then Vandewegue imploded.
Pliskova said herself pre-match, talked about how important it was to hold serve out there, talking about serving more than about returning. Pliskova always gets herself nice and ready early on, and you mentioned that match in Stuttgart last year here, and it was Pliskova who won 7-6, 6-4, but their last meeting coming at the US Open also last year, and it was Vandewegue who won that one 7-6, 6-3. First meeting came back in Miami in qualifying in 2013. Each and every time these two have met, it's been straight sets, so whoever's won the first set has gone on to win the match. So the early exchanges here could be absolutely vital. It should be a fascinating final. It is Coco Vandewegue against Karolina Pliskova. So here we go then. This is the final of the tennis Grand Prix, the Porsche Tennis Grand Prix in Stuttgart. 5th seed Karolina Pliskova looking for her first title of 2018. This in her 20th WTA final. It would be her 10th crown up against Coco Vandewegue, who's searching for her first Premier title. It's her 6th WTA final, and it will be Pliskova to get this one underway. Claire Curran and myself, Pete Hodges, to talk you through it. That's a fine way to start for Vandewegue. And as much as we said about it being an indoor court, we've been so impressed with how she's been moving on the clay.
Well, she's not renowned for being one of the best movers in the world, but she anticipates exceptionally well, as we can see there.
That's an astonishing return.
Well, straight away, she's right on to the two first serves that Pliskova has delivered.
We talked about how relaxed she's been in all the interviews, and kind of get the feeling she's still feeling relaxed. It's all just a bonus, playing on her least favourite surface. It's a nice comeback from Pliskova. Well, I promise you winners. We've had 3 to start.
That was a beautiful play there. Just went in behind her. Took a bit of pace off her first serve. Variety for both women today will be key on the serve. We know they've got big, heavy serves. Gonna mix it up.
Talking of heavy strikes, there's a huge, heavy forehand from Vandewegue.
Pete, you talked already about the way that Vandewegue is moving on the clay, and that last forehand just demonstrates that. She took her time and slid into the ball, created so much pace with her legs.
Well, what a start. Breaks were always going to be at a premium in this final. But it's Coco Vandewegue who rockets out of the blocks and breaks in the first game. And well, with the way she's been serving, that could well be the crucial break in this opening set already.
Well, you couldn't get a better start than that. She made Pliskova return every one of her serves, and that was key to that success. But I love the way she comes into the net so calmly. I think that's an element of her game that she has improved. We know that she's got this great volley. She plays a lot of doubles, has had good success, but it's the transition between her ground stroke and the volley that I think she's made the most strides in improving.
And the worrying stat for Karolina Pliskova, incidentally, is that Coco Vandewegue was last broken in the second round. Did really well to recover after the slip. It's been a fair while since she was broken, Vandewegue. 15. It was in the 3-set win against Siegmund in round 2. She's won 2 rounds since then, defeating the world number 1 and the world number 7 in the process. Wow.
Terrific timing. And that's a body blow for Vandewegue. Great message that Pliskova has just sent out to her. Not many people have been able to do this so far this week to Vandewegue.
We've been complimenting Vandewegue's second serve all week. The variety that she's able to play that shot with. The fact that she's so positive with it too. Has a high double fault count, but still a very positive percentage of points won behind the second serve. Second highest throughout the tournament this week, only to Karolina Garcia. About 4% higher than Pliskova. Just went the wrong way with the forehand, and again, Pliskova takes advantage.
And I think if you took out the number of double faults that she's made through the tournament, she would probably be most successful really behind that second serve. And it's not just the kick serve that she possesses, it's the slice serve. And that's where that great variety has come from.
It was Vandewegue who won the toss and elected to receive. Looks like that might be a good decision. The American can back up the break here. As she said at the start of the week, she wasn't here for the clay, she was here for the cars and the shopping. What a start. She edges a little closer to that car on the side of the court.
Ladies and gentlemen, please check your phones.
It's interesting to see where Pliskova takes those second serve returns, stepping in, electing to step in that service game. We'll see her move back as well, give her a different look.
Oh, wasn't far away. Such easy power that Vandewegue is able to create.
Just beautiful timing with that backhand. And anything that lands short up the court, Pliskova has got to take advantage of and be aggressive. Take that opportunity.
Father here this week, Radek.
Sequence 30-15. Let's first.
Vandewegue clearly felt this one was close. Have a look at it herself. Now back to 8. So it is just wide. Chichak, the lady in the chair. She's decided to be super positive and super aggressive in every single ball strike. Vandewegue not looking to just play her way into these return games. Pliskova will no doubt be feeling the pressure and feeling the heat.
And once again, Vandewegue is making Pliskova work for her service game. Obviously, she was broken in her first game, but Pliskova's so used to getting quick service games. Now she's having to work hard.
In its own, forces errors like that one.
Well, it just keeps the pressure on her. It's going to be really important that she serves very well today, first serves especially. Oh, we saw her do that last night in her semi-final match, so accurate. She hasn't yet found her zone.
First ace, first of what you would think would be many, of course, leads the ace count in the WTA circuit. More aces than anyone else too in 2017. It's a 42nd ace of the tournament, incidentally. And is that her 43rd? Very close to the centre service line, which she's been peppering in this game. And has just caught the line. So second serve ace for Pliskova. Second ace of the game, and serving her way out of trouble to get herself on the board. albeit a little later than she would have liked, because it is Vandewegue who leads by 2 games to 1. Talked about Coco Vandewegue looking like she was in the zone with the way she started this match, Claire. Sat at the change of ends, eyes shut, staying focused. It was a brilliant talk that Pat Cash had with her yesterday, saying that she wanted her to be exhausted because she wanted her to focus for every single point from start to finish. And she certainly did that in the win over Garcia. Oh, that's a magical backhand.
Such perfect timing on the ball, movement, vision to see Vandewegue going in the opposite direction here.
Not a lot of margin for error, but absolutely nailed it. Both players and their temperament has been terrific this week. Pliskova, you never can tell whether she's winning or losing. No reaction to going 2-love down. Very calm. There's a chance to get the break back.
Allow 40.
And there is the break back. Don't often see too much emotion shown by Karolina Pliskova, but she knows that that is a big moment in this final.
Well, mentally, that was a massive moment for her. Vandewegue hasn't been challenged in the last couple of matches on that serve. It'll be interesting to see how she responds. She refocus, put that disappointment behind her, but solid service game, return game by Pliskova.
Just a reminder, that's the first time Vandewegue has been broken since her match against Laura Siegmund in round 2. And was broken to love too, which has got to hurt. It's now 7 points in a row, I make it, for Pliskova.
punten bij de 15.
The second point that Pliskova's been able to win on the second serve. Both players so positive off the second serve return.
15. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, please switch off flash on your cameras. Thank you.
That's a glorious passing shot.
Vandewegue just guilty of leaving that approach shot a little bit too short, a little bit too much topspin on it as well. The ball sat up for Pliskova just to rip it cross court.
Second time now she's approached to that forehand side and been punished for it. Right back at you though, Karolina Pliskova.
A little bit of frustration there, and we haven't really seen Vandewegue so animated throughout this tournament as she has been in the last few minutes. Obviously a final, of course, a whole different pressure now.
Comes fist from Pliskova. It's been a terrific response from the world number 6, going 2-love down, but she's now won 3 games in a row and leads by 3 games to 2 first set. Again, we're seeing Coco Vandewegue, of course, shutting her eyes at the sit-down. Claire, we've talked a lot about, you know, Coco Vandewegue, her character, her natural character is to be very fiery, very up and down, full of character, so to speak. A lot of the time you feel she's walking a tightrope in terms of just trying to keep that in check sometimes. How much is it about getting the balance right, and how tough is that? Were you, when you played, were you constantly trying to keep yourself calm?
Well, my personality is probably a little bit more similar to a Vandewegue than a Pliskova on the court, and it is a tricky thing You want to win so badly. You wear your heart on your sleeve. And that's something that Pat Cash has slowly been able to make an impact with Coco Vandewegue. Controlling those emotions, play point by point. In the past, the energy that she's expended in being so animated, well, it's just taken away from the energy that she needs to spend focusing in on winning points, and that was why it was really crucial that she makes that improvement in her game.
Mentioned all week as well how much tougher it is psychologically when you're a big ball striker, where you have the winners to go with the unforced errors. As Pat Cash, of course, we've been referencing all week's done such a good job with Vandewegue, just keeping her focused, keeping her relaxed out on court too. The second serve that's done so much damage this week.
Well, in the past, these are the types of games that Vandewegue might have let slip when she got too emotional. But she's controlling herself very nicely. Cash will be pleased with that.
Unfortunate. It might have been the right play.
Well, we've seen her come in. If I'm correct, that might be the 4th time she's done it. Serve volley. It's a good play. Gives Pliskova a different look. Doesn't let her get comfortable, but also it's great for the future and for the tournament. It happens in July. That big one.
Wimbledon. Was expecting that sort of a reaction from Vandewegue, as you said, Claire. That was a big game. Lost the previous 3, stops the rot. An example of how she's just been able to get refocused, keep herself calm, and then the release.
Well, she did look like she had just lost her way slightly, and she did very well there.
On the other side of the court, of course, Pliskova looking the same after every point.
Oh, she does such a good job of finding the lines with her serve. And it's the pressure she puts on you because you can't actually get your racket to it. It's so difficult to play against.
It's a fairly simple technique as well, isn't it? For Pliskova with that serve. Nothing overcomplicated about it.
Oh, it's very simple. Just like Vandewegue's serve. Serena Williams as well. And once again, this is a very quick service game by Pliskova. Vandewegue hasn't had the opportunity to get into the rallies. And that'll be frustrating because she's looking to get a rhythm.
Smart second serve from Pliskova, kicking it into the body. Comfortable service hold, just to ensure that really she has the momentum right now in this final. Leads 4-3.
4 games to 3.
It's been a really interesting final so far. Vandewegue certainly had the better of the opening exchanges, broke straight away, was controlling most of the points, but the great champion she is. Karolina Pliskova, of course, 9 WTA titles to her name. She's got 3 Premier titles too. Has responded. And in the last few games, she's been the one who's been getting on top of this encounter. Vandewegue with new balls here though, 3-4.
First and all, 15-11. Draaisignaal. Thirty-love.
Just a reminder, the last 4 meetings between these two, all gone to a tiebreaker in the first set. And whoever's won that tiebreak has gone on to win the match. Previous meeting at the US Open, it was Vandewegue who won that encounter. The meeting before that was here in Stuttgart a year ago. It was Pliskova who won on that occasion after winning the first one tiebreaker. Are we heading for another one? Good depth from Pliskova, but there wasn't a lot on both backhands, and of course that allows Vandewegue time to wind up that big weapon of hers on the forehand.
40-15.
You feel so far in this match that when they've got into those rallies, Vandewegue's had great success just because she is capable of hitting with a bit more shape, pushes Pliskova back. Just the ball a little bit higher.
Just missed. Vandewegue ticks off another service game. It's 4 games all in this opening set of this final.
4 games all.
Vandewegue, who's never won a Premier title. She's Been in a couple of finals before, both in Stanford. And only 2 titles in her career. Game in Den Bosch, 2014 and 2016. Of course, was in the final of Zhuhai, the elite trophy last year. That was her last final. Pliskova's last final, Eastbourne, which of course she won.
15-11.
Smart play from Pliskova. Doesn't want to keep it to the forehand side of Vandewegue too often.
She's just hit this shot so well throughout the week here in Stuttgart. Perfectly balanced when she executes it. She's so flat through the ball. Crucial mind games going on at this part of the set. 4 games all.
So quick to get around the ball and wraps her racket round it too.
And it's so important right now that both of these women really control these service games and try to win them with as much ease as possible. They both will be looking towards the tiebreaker. And they'll want to be keeping all their mental energy for that.
And it was interesting what Pliskova said yesterday after her win, talking about this match against Vandewegue. All about saying so important to hold serve and to serve well. Didn't really mention the return. And so it's been a really impressive performance when you consider she lost her serve in the first game. Well, she's been able to respond. Didn't panic at all. Serving pretty well. First serve percentage up around 67% right now. Curse of the commentator.
Again, as we've seen so much this week.
First double for the Czech. Pliskova a game away then from taking this first set. Moves in front once more, 5-4 in the opener.
5 games to 4.
Well, once again, these two doing battle in a first set, and once again, it's incredibly tight. One break of serve each. Vandewegue will hope it stays that way as she comes out to serve to stay in this first set at 4-5. First serve percentage hasn't been the highest for the American, edging towards 50% now.
Obviously, that's testament as well to how well Pliskova has been reading the first serve and neutralizing it through the middle with her return.
Oh, she just hasn't been quite as tidy at the front of the court as she has been all tournament, and just the adjustment of the shoulders there, suggesting she's feeling the nerves a little.
And for the high standards that she sets herself at the net, it will be really disappointing to miss that volley, and also another one earlier on in the set. Great second serve, mixed it up right into the body, jammed Pliskova with a heavy kicker.
Again, has been winning a high percentage of points behind that second serve. Mentioned the first serve percentage has been pretty low. She's won 7 from 12 behind the second serve. Just didn't quite get the angle required. Attempted first serve. A little dangerous if you don't quite get it right. To a player's strength. Again, though, finds a first serve to wriggle out of the game. And it's 5-all first set. Well, Claire, I asked you this in Vandewegue's previous match. If this was a boxing bout, who's winning on points? I'm going to ask you it again here.
Ooh, yes, she did. And I think yesterday I felt like I got it right. At the moment, I feel that the momentum is slightly with Pliskova. I don't know why I feel that, because everything is so even. Just Vandewegue a little bit more emotional today. You can sense that this really is a big deal. She knows exactly what she's playing for. I think Pliskova's just handled it slightly better. But again, margins are so slight.
It's a big point to win for Pliskova.
Pliskova just continues to go into the Vandewegue forehand, pushing her out wide, eventually getting the unforced error.
can see why you went for your decision as well. It just feels early on, Vandewegue was winning the points from the back of the court.
Well, that's tension right there. We talk a lot about breathing out on contact, just letting the oxygen flow through the body. But she looks like she's holding her breath. She's tight. Of course, you would expect that. It's such a big deal to come away with this title, not just because of that lovely red car in the background.
I can tell you it's a Porsche Boxster 718 GTS. If you're interested in purchasing it.
Do you have one delivered to your house on Monday morning?
If only.
Well, that was a mental battle of the forehands right there. Vandewegue coming up top.
And this is why this encounter just so tough to call. All it's going to take is for one of these big hitting players to flash a couple of winners here or there, or make a couple of unforced errors here or there to decide this opening set. Fine margins. Or maybe even a little bit of luck. And a real slice of luck there for Pliskova. Huge miss it. Landed in almost the worst place possible on the court for Vandewegue.
Well, she still had a lot of work to do with this passing shot. She controls the racket head exceptionally well. Uses her hands. Just lands right on the line. Big time tennis.
It's a great return. Anticipated the serve. Again, taking it so early.
Well, having the courage to play this return of serve on a big point like that. And she has to make some adjustments with her feet to get that perfect contact point and execute it to perfection.
Pliskova.
Again, the serve proving so vital for the fifth seed. He's had too many juice games, but it's Pliskova who comes through that one and leads 6-5 first set. Players yet to call their coach out on court. Just a reminder, there's been 2 breaks of serve in this one. 1 apiece. Right now it looks like we're heading for yet another tie-break in the first set between these two. It'll be a 5th straight match where they've had a tiebreaker to settle the first set. And just a reminder, whoever's won that tiebreaker has gone on to win the encounter in straight sets. Got to get there first, though, to the tiebreak. Vandewegue serving now 5-6. Perfect start to the game. First ace for the American. 18th of the tournament. Wow.
Well, it was a good serve. It was a very good serve. But it just sat a little bit too close to her hitting zone. And again, we've talked about margins. She's got to be that little bit better, or you get punished.
Pliskova doing brilliantly well with the return. I mean, that's been an underrated part of her game in the last 12 months or so. I've noticed improvements in that area. Doing the right thing in this pressure cooker environment for the American. Making a play, getting the ball deep. Fabulous tennis from Vandewegue. Under pressure early on in the point, but turns that defence into attack.
Well, she did everything that she could to get this return back from Pliskova. She hit it so aggressively, and she really did raise her level in that point.
I think that's the first point she's won at the net, but what a time to do it.
Well, so courageous that she serves at volleys at 30-all, 5-6 first set, having had no success so far, and she got a get out of jail card free there. Pliskova should have really done better with the pass.
Interesting stat there. Of course, the longer the rally goes, the more it suits the Czech. Which I don't think was the case in the first 2 or 3 games of this set.
No, it wasn't. Vandewegue was able to use that variety of height and pace to cause Pliskova problems. We haven't seen that in the last few games.
And fine margins.
She goes back into the forehand, which Pliskova has been hitting so well. This time just took a little bit more pace off the ball.
Comes through the game. And we will have a tiebreaker to sort this opening set out yet again between these two. It's the 5th time in a row that the first set has gone to a 7-point shootout.
Well, Pat Cash talked about focus and how much she's got to do that through the course of the match and how tough it is. And Vandewegue will be feeling right now that it couldn't really get much tougher. Obviously, key to this tiebreak has got to be the quality and the consistency of that first serve. Pliskova's done an exceptional job throughout this set of being more aggressive on her second serve than we've seen through the tournament. Had great success with that.
Partly due to the fact that Vandewegue came out swinging so much in her first service game. She's reacted to the situation.
2-0.
Second ace for Vandewegue. Both with pretty similar serving stats. They're both around the 60% mark, first serve percentage. Both winning sort of mid-60s percentage-wise behind the first serve. That is just sublime from Karolina Pliskova.
Vandewegue threw everything at her. High forehands, hard forehands. Pliskova was up for the task. This was a very tricky slice backhand. What a beautiful drop shot. She carves really from nowhere.
It's not often that Vandewegue gets out hit on the forehand side. Kind of feel that point has got to hurt. Has she found the line? She has. We talked about the aggressive nature of that second serve, high-risk nature from the Czech.
Well, she has done her homework on Vandewegue in this match, and she will know how successful she's been on that second serve return, and Pliskova has responded tactically so well with a heavier second serve today.
Tornez in front for the first time in this tiebreak. Thought it would be tight, this encounter. That's very much the case. 55 minutes in. Terrific return. And it is Pliskova who wins a 4th straight point. Just has the edge as they change ends.
Pliskova has this uncanny ability to find the lines. Showed it with her second serve at 2-0, find the line down the tee, and she's just done it on the next point with that return of serve.
Has that little bit more experience, of course, playing in big finals. Been in a US Open final before. She has got a Premier 5 title to her name in Cincinnati in 2016. She's also won her last 3 finals, Pliskova. All of them Premier events. All of them last year. Brisbane, Doha and Eastbourne. Looking for a 4th straight win in a final. Vandewegue up against it here. Could be a costly error. And apologies if you picked up any bad language there. I think it's safe to say Vandewegue is not overly happy with herself right now. And this is going to be a test of character for her, not just here, but even if she goes on to lose this opening set. So clinical.
And it was 12 months ago these two played on this court. And it went to a tiebreaker. It was 7-2 in that tiebreaker to Pliskova.
Four set points. It's corrected. Well, what an awesome set of tennis that was. Once again, they went the distance. And this time it was Karolina Pliskova who's been able to win it on the breaker. 7-6.
Držíš se, první game si nebyla po toho, tě probudila. Ten její timing tě jakoby rozstřílel, tě rozejbal, hraješ dobře. Ty odzadu si držíš to. Víc to hrají přes ten backhand, to vidíš. Jo? A i ty servisy tady zleva, kdy hrají víc jako do toho.
Já jsem třeba teď měla ten druhý servis trošku dál, ten kick má neskutečně.
No, to skáčeš, trefuješ to nahoře, no. Ale jinak víc přes ten backhand, ale i ze hry máš, jako výborný na síti, jo, chladnou hlavu, když ti to zkrátí, a ona se tam tlačí furt, tak prostě tam musíš mít chladnou hlavu, abys věděla, kam to hrát. I tenhle balon si měla na raketě, mohla si ho zahrát tady pipeline, no, jo. Jinak dobrý hlava, super, jedem, každý balon, furt jedeš, nevystupuj z toho tunelu, furt jedeš stejně, jo, jedem zatím. Máš teď trošku máš výhodu, jo. A hlavně jsem ti chtěl ještě říct, že ona jak z toho servisu, si myslíš, že je královna servisu, prostě, tak ty tady vlastně tlačíš a je asi lepší, i to procento máte jakoby hodně stejný, tak prostě dobrý servis, jo. Pojď, výborný.
Well, Coco Vandewegue just taking a bathroom break. You could hear at the back end of that opening set her frustration, how annoyed she was with herself. Of course, was up a break early on in the first set. She's just asking which side she needs to go. That is the car that they win. The Porsche Tennis Grand Prix. And Pliskova now just a set away from driving that one home. And she actually could drive it home back to the Czech Republic. Not the situation for Vandewegue if she turns this match around.
I think she might need another one for her entourage.
Yeah. It's now 8 points in a row for Pliskova, because if you remember, it was Vandewegue was up 2-love in the tiebreak, and the Czech won 7 points in a row. Everything seemed to change from that slice backhand shot that she hit, which was just out of this world. It's a nice way to stop the rock. Of course, Pliskova, though, calling a coach onto the court, her father, Radek Plišek, and we were just saying off air, Claire, as in how much her intensity has been great this week in terms of the right balance. Sometimes you feel she's not zoned in at the right times, but her reactions in this match, in terms of the emotional reactions, have been right on the money. How much do you think you can attribute that to the fact that her father's there in her corner?
Well, she certainly looks very, very comfortable with him. Very animated, great eye contact when they talk to each other. And you can really tell that she's got a huge amount of respect for what he's saying to her. But she, as you say, Pete, she really doesn't give a lot away on the court, but we have seen signs just with a few come-ons at important times. But also, you can tell a lot by her post-match interviews, just how focused and how emotional she is about her tennis. And clearly, she's done her homework on this match.
It's a shame. It's the right move. Just hasn't been as clinical as she has throughout this tournament at the front of the court.
Just when she's been up at the net, it's just like she's rushed it slightly, which we haven't seen throughout the week.
And just a reminder, every time whoever's won the first set in the previous meetings between these two has gone on to win the second set. And it's an early break point for the 5th seed. It's a missed opportunity, and you can tell by the reaction.
Well, she's been returning serve exceptionally well. It's one of the big elements to that success in the first set, that she had reading the serve well, neutralizing it through the middle. And Pete, as you say, that was an opportunity.
Ooh. Let's just hope she's okay. Slipping on the line. Good to see her straight back up.
And just loses her footing here. And I wonder whether that will just take her mind off the scoreboard at the moment.
It's happened a couple of times today. She's just slipped a little. Coco Vandewegue. I'm sure she'll be happy with the fact that she won the point.
Well, I wonder whether it's been a long week out there and players always bring a couple of different pairs of shoes. I just wonder whether or not it's time for a new pair. She has slipped. We haven't seen her slipping like that throughout the week, just losing her gripping.
It's that balance, isn't it, with the new pair of shoes, because you don't really want to change too much if you're feeling comfortable in the trainers that you're wearing.
Well, one of the things that the players do is they'll start to play with a fresh pair of shoes in the practice. Always kind of play with 2 or 3 pairs of shoes. But certainly she has slipped a few times, and that was a pretty big slide there.
The training's been called there. I think there's just a few scrapes for Vandewegue, but big game to win that. Break point down. A couple of missed opportunities really for Pliskova, a couple of missed returns, as we've been saying. Has been returning so well. I think this may well just be a bit of a plaster job, which of course you want, because on the clay court it's easy to get a few cuts infected.
It's also just a good time for her to take a little bit of stock. That would have been so disappointing. She played a solid first set, looked almost towards the end of the first set that she was starting to make some inroads into the Pliskova serve, which she obviously hadn't done since she broke in the first game of the match. But once again, just like last year, the tiebreak just went away from her. Exactly the same score, 7-2, 2-love up. Had a really big point and an opportunity really to be 3-love, but Pliskova dug deep.
What have you made of where Pliskova's, in terms of where she's hit most of the balls? Because she's been going to the forehand side quite a lot. She's been sort of saying, I can out-hit you on the forehand side, and that's got to hurt Vandewegue.
Well, she feels so comfortable on that forehand side, but also she's been hitting that forehand down the line exceptionally well, and that's something that Vandewegue has to think about whenever she goes back cross court. But I think also by going into the forehand, she has prevented Vandewegue from using that slice backhand, which I think that little bit of variety that she has in her game could have thrown Pliskova off slightly. Pliskova has controlled those baseline exchanges exceptionally well, obviously being more successful the longer the rally goes on. But what I think has been such a success for her in this match has been the quality of the return of serve. She's been able to make Coco Vandewegue play so many balls after her serve, which other opponents haven't been able to do so far this week.
Vandewegue winning 59% of the points behind the first serve, which in comparison to what it's been throughout the week isn't actually that high.
No, but it's not as high, but it's the fact that she's had to work for it. We've seen her winning service points just by the one big serve, but Pliskova has done a great job of just making her play the next ball, and it's the pressure, and we talked about that. Pressure builds, and again, when it got to the tiebreaker, it just became a little bit too much for Vandewegue.
Just in comparison, incidentally, with that first serve percentage points won, 59% in this match for Vandewegue. In comparison, throughout the tournament, she's been winning 77.9% of the points behind that first serve. So just shows you how well Pliskova has been returning. Of course, those long levers of the check as well just means that Vandewegue is unable to pick up maybe a few more cheap points than she has been. And she's been playing against, let's not forget, some very good returners in the likes of Sloane Stephens, Simona Halep, Laura Siegmund, who's had some terrific results on this court. 3 top 10 wins here, of course, for Vandewegue. She's only had 1 WTA singles match win coming into the tournament. So I think too many would have been predicting her to be in the final, but she's played some stunning stuff. But at the moment, finds herself behind a set anyway, taking that first game of this second set. Plaster just being applied there. How did you find when you had plasters applied during matches?
Oh, I never had them applied. Just got on with it. No, we make them tough in Northern Ireland. I have to say, it's not. You say it's a little plaster. It's a tricky plaster, and it's on her right hand, obviously, and that little finger plays quite a role in each shot that you play. It's obviously at the bottom of the racket head, and you feel it when you're hitting forehands, backhands, everything. So it's obviously important that it gets applied the right way.
Also a shot at the bottom of the racket has been chipped a little bit in terms of the clay as well, and again the bottom of the racket's very important too. So maybe just a couple of issues here when she comes out and swings for the ball, but clearly is happier with it being taped up. As I say, with being a clay court, of course, you don't want dirt in there, and it's easy to pick up dirt on the grip, on the racket.
Yes, it is. I think just there's one other element that I think in that first set that Vandewegue could have had more success in, and that was when she came to the net. She did it 5 times, and for her standards, that wasn't good enough. The success rate that she had, she certainly had opportunities to win the point, missed a few easy volleys.
But on that point, of her coming to the net, do you think she selected the right times to come forward?
Well, there was one game that she came in twice in a game, and it's good for her to use the tactic as something just to throw up, give a different look. That was one that she maybe overplayed. But in general, I think that when she's come to the net, it's been the right shot. Maybe hasn't executed her approach shot well enough, but she's missed a few easy volleys.
Just giving you a couple of practice swings here, so maybe the little finger just going to take a bit of time to get used to the fact that plaster's there. Although, doesn't have to swing at that one. Pliskova with a 7th ace. Well, that was the shot, wasn't it, that turned the tiebreak on its head. Again, lovely weight of shot for that drop shot from Pliskova, and wins the game in under a minute.
And that must be one of the quickest service games that she's had of the match. And she does have terrific feel with those drop shots. I've seen her play more and more of them. Pliskova, good success rate as well when she plays them.
Well, since the injury, or at least the work to the finger, Vandewegue hasn't won a point. How well Pliskova returned in that first set. She's already had a couple of opportunities in set 2 and hasn't quite found a rhythm on the return yet in this set.
Curtain, 30-15.
What a wonderful point again from Karolina Pliskova, just weaving her web.
Well, initially she did an exceptional job using her slice backhand to get herself back into the point, but once again we see that lovely drop shot that she possesses, and this type of point will be worth 4 to Pliskova, because Coco Vandewegue will hurt from all that running and then coming out behind.
That's a nice comeback point from the American. So she's just clinging on a little in this match right now. We all know about the power and the weaponry she possesses to turn it around. Edges in front again in set 2. She calls Pat Cash out onto the court. Vandewegue leads 2-1 second set.
Good work. You're doing well. Anything? Just keep up the pressure, okay? Just keep asking the question, okay? Keep asking the question. You win or lose, doesn't matter. Just keep asking the question, all right? Keep putting in pressure, keep applying the pressure. You play a great game at 5-6, whatever it was. You know, she had to serve a couple unbelievable shots to win the game, you know? And then tiebreaker, ace, second serve, you know, just too good, all right? That's just too good. Keep asking the question. You're doing really, really well. The arms are sinking really nicely there. Watch that down the line, you know, that'll come up. And the drop shot, down to the dink. Get on, yeah. Just go back across, sharp across. Yeah? You're doing well. Keep your racket out in front if you're coming to the net. Keep mixing it up. That's great. What you're doing is really, really good. There's nothing in this match. You know there's nothing in this match. Our goal this week was to compete, and you've been competing really well. Keep competing. It's all I ask you to do. Doesn't matter if you win or lose. Yeah, you're doing great. You really are doing great. But focus. No unforced errors. Bring it up, bring it to her, put it to her, okay? You're doing great, doing great.
Always so positive, Pat Cash. You really are doing great. Nothing in this match, you know that. Focus this week was just to stay focused and keep your concentration. All of that we hear over and over again. And so hopefully, for Vandewegue's perspective, she'll be feeling $1 million. She comes out now, but it's Pliskova serving with new balls.
That was such an important chat for Pat Cash, because this part of the match here now is so tough mentally for Vandewegue. She's doing everything that she can just to stay with Pliskova. And that reinforcement that Cash gave her, that she was doing so well, just to keep in it and keep fighting, that's exactly what she needed to hear.
There was only just one bit of technical advice, wasn't there? And that was with regards to the volleying. He said, just when you come forward, keep your racket out in front, come to the net, which is very basic coaching, but it's those simple bits of instructions that can have such a big difference.
Well, it shows also that just that element of her coming forward is quite important to him in this match.
That's the type of point that's got to make her feel a little better.
But the difficulty is that it's the first point that she's really had an opportunity to get into a rally in this game. Pliskova won the first 3 points so quickly and just keeps the pressure on.
Into double figures on the ace count, Karolina Pliskova. It's now 51 aces. And there is the Porsche Boxster GTS. a bad car, is it? Winner will drive it away. It's not all they get. They get a fair amount of prize money too, and of course the trophy, and I think there'll be more after claiming another Premier title. Well, I say another Premier title, that's for Pliskova. It will be a first Premier title for Vandewegue. It will be the biggest title of her career.
Getting so quickly up to this ball and holds on to it for as long as possible, making Pliskova anticipate the wrong direction. One of the toughest second serves in the game to hit. Slice up the tee on the ad court. Both Pliskova and Vandewegue have been hitting it exceptionally well. Well, it's not a surprise that she hits that double fault. We've seen her throughout the week taking more chances on that second serve, being more aggressive, and she has hit more double faults. But she's also had a great deal of success behind her second serve.
Oh, that's a cracker of a backhand from Pliskova. Barely got up higher than an inch of the net the whole way.
Well, she's so strong with her legs, and there's very little back swing on this. Uses all her wrist strength. No follow through either. Just slides it across the court.
Nicely dealt with.
Very tricky forehand. That one landed short up the court. She's got great racket speed for that forehand.
I'll be very pleased with what his player has achieved this week, even if she doesn't go on to win this match. Seems so tough to read which way Pliskova is going to go with that forehand.
Well, it's the beauty of hitting it with an open stance.
A little graphic in the bottom right corner rather just sums up the situation really in this match. It is Vandewegue is being made to work that much harder to hold serve time and time again. Pliskova repeatedly knocking at the door. Will it open?
And I think, Pete, what you've said is that Cash would be obviously so pleased with what his player has done throughout the week here. But if she was able to get herself through this match, I think that would almost be a bigger achievement for her. He would be exceptionally impressed with that, because right now she really is up against it.
Gleichstand.
Yeah, couldn't agree more with you, Claire, to be honest, because in particular, this stage of the match, she's having to fight so hard. You need to show so much character just to hang with Pliskova. Especially when you consider what's gone before with these two in terms of the significance of who's won the first set. First serve percentage, though, at the moment going in the wrong direction. Pressure finally telling. And quality strike from Pliskova right into the corner.
Pliskova.
One break point in this set already. Here's another for the world number 6. And there is the break. And Pliskova, who had been threatening in set 2, finally kicks that door open and now leads 3-2. Well, the DJ here really ramping up the music, getting the crowd involved. And these are pressure moments too for Karolina Pliskova. Nicked the first set, tightest of first sets, but since then really she's had all the momentum. Finally found a way to break in the previous game. And if she can keep serving like she has done, in particular throughout this second set, first serve percentage at 89% right now, dropped just the 1 point. And surely she'll be crowned champion. Oh, it's a bit of everything in that point. But it's Vandewegue who steps up and fires the winner.
Yes, Vandewegue still trying to find a solution to the problems that Pliskova is causing her out here. Turns that point around very nicely.
I suppose she just has to hope. Pliskova's first serve percentage comes down a little. I mean, there's nothing you can do off that.
And that's what makes Pliskova such a tricky opponent to play against. Vandewegue has won the first point. She had to work really hard to do that. She can't keep the pressure on because Pliskova just comes up with that big ace.
Pliskova quizzing G-Jack. And it's going to be a first serve, so there's actually an overall there. It was a late call. frustrate Pliskova that she wasn't given the point. I can't quite remember where Vandewegue's return went. Well, it was definitely a conservative second serve, and Vandewegue doing the right thing.
Yes, we haven't seen too many serves like that from Pliskova of her second delivery. Just sat right up.
What a chance. Maybe that's the scoreboard pressure. And I mean, you've referenced it, Claire, and that's the difficulty playing Pliskova, because when you get an opportunity, there's that much more pressure on it, because you know you might not get too many more.
Well, you can see she just snatched at that forehand.
Said that she would have wanted Pliskova's first serve percentage to dip. It has done in this game. And that's long. So here's a chance then for Vandewegue to get the break straight back.
And going into this match, Vandewegue had broken an incredible 43% of the service games that she had returned against. Pliskova hasn't given her too many opportunities today, but here's one.
Oh, well. It was a relatively safe point from Pliskova. And is that going to be the only chance that Vandewegue gets? She gives a souvenir to one of the fans in the crowd. He'll be mightily happy with that, although Vandewegue getting a code violation. I think the racket probably did crack, so done and dusted.
Well, just shows how much this means to her, how much she's thinking out there. Just so tense, really. I'm not even sure if the racket, oh, it is broken. She knew straight away.
So I won't be able to use it, but
I'm
nice
sure
souvenir.
I'm sure I'll give it a go. Won't last long. We might get another one now. And it really is just pressure that does that. You don't breathe out on contact, hold in all that oxygen, your arm gets very tight.
You can see there bits of clay on all of the rackets. Of course, they've been used in practice. It's got a lot to get through. I have to say, Pliskova's got a little tight here as well. She's lost a rhythm on the first serve, and to say, playing a little more safe in this game. Both players really recognising just how vital this game is. Finally finding a first serve. Well, certainly a missed opportunity for Vandewegue. And is that the only one she's going to get in this second set from here on in? It's Pliskova who's able to back up the break and now leads 4-2 second set.
Well, that was Pliskova's first dip in this match, and Vandewegue was unable to take her opportunity. Understandably, you could see that frustration. Obviously so important right now that she just refocuses and does everything she can to hold this game.
Curtain 15.
Good response by Vandewegue.
Such an easy nature to how Pliskova strikes the ball.
Well, she's very calm in dealing with those two slice backhands. Her confidence, the fact that she goes right back into it. Eventually, just playing too big a shot for Vandewegue to handle.
This goes without saying, it's a must-hold service game for Vandewegue. The only time she's been able to break Pliskova was in her first service game in the match. So to have to break her twice to stay in the match, perhaps be beyond it. Timely ace. Fourth in this encounter for the American.
40-30.
And Pliskova, in so many of her matches, when she gets into some of these forehand rallies, she has this tendency sometimes to stand up on the ball and miss it. She stayed down so well through all the shots today. Hit her ground strokes with ease and precision and pace.
Just beginning to look a little ragged with the forehand in particular, Vandewegue. Perhaps over-forcing. Understandable in the circumstances. Another break point for Pliskova. Makes no mistake with that forehand, though.
Well, big kicking serve there. Pliskova had to return it so far behind the baseline, just leaving that space up the line. Big, powerful setup.
Beauty.
Well, it's that return of serve there that makes me think that the serve volley option, which she hasn't used at all in this set, she could have played it once or twice and just take that slight return of serve out of Pliskova's arsenal.
Breaks again, and will serve for the match in a few moments' time. Karolina Pliskova in control now of this final. Leads by 5 games to 2.
5 games to 2.
After an hour and 44 minutes of absorbing tennis, it is Karolina Pliskova who is now serving for the championship here in Stuttgart. Well, maybe I spoke too soon, Claire, saying it would be too much for Vandewegue to break Pliskova twice. First serve percentage has sharply dropped. If you remember, it was at 89% coming in to her previous service game in this set. It's now dropped below 70%, which tells you how many seconds first serve she's been missing. Oh, wow. Talk about a shot through the heart of Vandewegue.
She's just got so much control with her hands and directing this ball up the line. But she's given Vandewegue a little bit of a glimpse of hope in this game.
That's more like it from Vandewegue.
Well, just as Pat Cash asked, get your racket out in front, and she did that perfectly.
15-14.
Tough ball to hit as well, right down at her feet.
Maybe the fact that Vandewegue, I think this match is now perhaps beyond her, or just relax her. there's one of the two breaks back that Vandewegue needs. It was a tight game from Pliskova, but credit the American. She played with a fair amount of freedom in that game.
Well, Pliskova helped her out with the first 2 points of the game. Just to be a little flat with her legs. Obviously, she hasn't won a title this year. It's a big moment for Pliskova serving out the match. She didn't take it. She will have another opportunity if needed.
Suddenly, Vandewegue has come alive.
Well, being good return of serve, but it's the legs of Vandewegue so strong that gives her the best chance to redirect that ball down the line for a winner.
Well. Just missing. And great depth from Pliskova.
30-15.
Well, unfortunately, just missed it. Hit it well. Set up the point nicely with the first couple of cross-court backhands.
From 10, 14-15.
Hold the back page. This one isn't done yet. Coco Vandewegue fighting back. And she's still alive in this final. Pliskova still leads, but now only by 5 games to 4. Well, no doubt about it. It was a nervous previous service game from Karolina Pliskova. There was a double fault in it. She struggled to find some first serves. You can tell by the fact she's bouncing up and down. She is feeling the pressure here. Second time serving for the championship. Can she deal with those nerves? This time 5-4. First point so key. Vandewegue got herself in the rally.
Well, Vandewegue read that serve perfectly. She was on it. And Pliskova maybe just taking a little bit off her first serve. It's giving Vandewegue the opportunity to get onto a few of these returns.
Great defence again from Vandewegue. It's just sense Pliskova urging herself to try and play with conviction in these big moments.
Well, this was a heavy slice and it was deep right through the court. Pliskova just didn't stay down with her legs.
So big. It's extraordinary. We were saying to you off air how much a momentum shift a double fault can be. Second point of her previous service game. Just suddenly just said to Vandewegue how tight she was feeling. And it is amazing how different we have a feeling of a match right now to all of 15 minutes ago. Oh, what a point.
And Vandewegue did all the hard work in this point. Just too casual up to that final finishing ball. Pliskova has earned her first match point.
It's been a tight encounter, hasn't it? Very little in this matchup. But it is a championship point for Karolina Pliskova. It's a 10 out of 10 performance from Karolina Pliskova as she wins her 10th WTA title. And in doing so, becomes the first Czech player to win the Porsche Tennis Grand Prix. It's her fourth straight Premier Final victory and her first crown of 2018. A great display of attacking tennis from the world number 6. Gets the better of Coco Vandewegue in 2 extremely tight sets and wins the final 7-6, 6-4 in an hour and 56 minutes. And you can see just what that means and the contrasting emotions for both players.
Well, Coco Vandewegue shouldn't be disappointed with what she's done this week. You can see she's visibly exceptionally upset, but she has had an incredible week, and also last week at the Fed Cup. But ultimately today, Pliskova was just that level above. Fantastic serving, first serves especially, unreturnables, but tactically I think she just played a very intelligent match. She got it right from the very beginning.
And I think Pat Cash will be absolutely delighted with what he's got out of Coco Vandewegue this week. He said in the previous semi-final, he said, I wanted you to be absolutely exhausted once you get off the court, because to maintain your concentration and focus for the whole match, for the whole tournament. And I think that's why we've seen that release of emotion there, because she's just exhausted from everything she's put in.
Well, she's put so much into this, and she does try to play it down that it doesn't really mean that much. It's just a game of tennis, but she works incredibly hard, and these matches are so tough on you physically, but really emotionally. She would have felt she had an opportunity today, but she gave it her absolute best, and there'll be more to come.
There we go. There is that embrace that I was expecting to see. He'll be very proud of what she's achieved and how she's played this week, Vandewegue, but take nothing away from Karolina Pliskova. It was a stunning final. She was able to raise her game in the moments that mattered. But, well, let's just hope Vandewegue takes all the positives out of this week and goes on to have a very successful clay court swing. It just shows how close their relationship is there. Well,
it's really extraordinary scenes. And Coco Vandewegue, as we know, she really does leave her heart on her sleeve, but they obviously have a very good relationship, and he will be telling her exactly what really we've been saying. We'll be very proud of how she's performed today. And I do think not just in the clay court, but I think she has got the potential for a very big year ahead.
Of course, had an excellent year in 2017, semi-finalist at the Australian Open and the US Open, quarter-finalist at Wimbledon as well. But it's been a while since she's last won a title, 2016 in Den Bosch, and no doubt would have seen this as a great opportunity, especially having got a break-up so early on. But Pliskova just worked her way back in, didn't panic, and then just about got over the line. Nervous moments at the end. I think the reaction told its own story.
Well, those nervous moments are expected. Winning this title is an exceptionally big moment for any of these players. But what was so impressive today, we always talk about the fact that she's got this unbelievable serve, great aces, wins lots of free points. But the way in which she dealt with Coco Vandewegue's first serve and second serve was really perfect.
There's Vandewegue's reaction. Maybe it's because she won't get that car. She did say she was here for the shopping and the cars and not for the clay at the beginning of the week, but it shows you just how much she wanted this win after putting in so much this week, being 3 top 10 players, Vandewegue. But she couldn't make it a 4th as the world number 6. Perhaps just showed her experience in these types of big matches, big finals. It was her 20th final. She's now won 10, lost 10. Nice bit of symmetry for Karolina Pliskova. And let's not forget, it's been a tough road for her as well, because with all the success she had last year, this is her first title of 2018. Let's try and listen into this presentation. As I say, we won't be able to translate, I'm afraid, anything in German, but hopefully the majority of it will be done in English. Incidentally, the winner gets 113 euros, 113,000 euros, that is, of course. And the runner-up, just over 60,000 euros.
Aus den Vereinigten Staaten, die Finalistin, meine Damen und Herren, Applaus für Coco Vandewegue.
She's won a lot of fans here, not just with her on-court game, but her off-court game too, in terms of how she spoke with such honesty and almost a refreshing nature. Never afraid to say what she thinks. And good to see her smiling after a tough loss.
First and foremost, I want to say thank you to Marcus for giving me the wild card this week and giving me an opportunity to compete here in Stuttgart. I had such a great time last year and my first time here that I had to come back. So thank you, Marcus, for the wild card. Second, I'd like to congratulate Karolina and her team on a fantastic week. Well played in the final. I tried my best, even a little bit of blood, but I couldn't get there in the end. Congratulations And also I want to thank Porsche and Turkish Airlines for putting on a great event, as well as all you guys for coming out here and supporting me this week and all the way through to the final. Sorry I couldn't do it, but maybe next year. Thank you.
Coco Vandewegue, meine Damen und Herren. Und da gibt es natürlich Blumen vom Turnierdirektor Markus Günther und die Trophäe
That's a very measured,
Dr.
well-spoken
Porsche.
acceptance speech. Always tough to do that, isn't it, Claire? With all the emotions so raw.
Well, she handled herself very well there and said all the right things and said the thank yous to the right people. You can see how disappointed she is. But when she looks back at this tournament, she'll be immensely proud and very excited about the future.
Of course, we're grateful to Marcus too, because of the tennis she's played. Been given that wild card at the start of the week.
In diese Woche knapp. Sie musste sehr oft sehr lange fighten, einmal bis in den nächsten Tag hinein. Aber am Ende war sie einfach nicht zu schlagen. Aus Tschechien, die Porsche Tennis Grand Prix Siegerin 2018, Karolina Pliskova.
What a week it's been for her. Clay's certainly not her favourite surface. It's her second clay court title, and just played such astonishing tennis from start to finish.
Hello everybody. So I would like to first of all thanks to Coco and congrats for a great week. I think you are playing amazing. Bad luck for you in the final, but so good week, and good luck in the next clay court tournaments. Then of course I would like to thank my team. They see me there, yes. I think we had a great week and I had such a good support from them, and without them I think I would not have the trophy, so thank you guys for being here. And of course, to all the sponsors, to Porsche, to Turkish Airlines, I think this is one of the best events on tour. I've been always enjoying to play here. I had a good Fed Cup week before, so it gave me some confidence to play on this court, and such an amazing week, so thank you guys. And last, I think you guys, it's the best atmosphere what I played in Germany, so enjoying every day to play in front of you, and hopefully you enjoyed the tournament, and thank you for supporting me.
Of course,
Karolina Pliskova.
had a great couple of weeks here on this court in particular. Of course, Czech Republic going back into the Fed Cup final with their win over Germany in this arena, and carried that momentum into this tournament, becoming the first ever Czech player to lift the trophy here at the Porsche Tennis Grand Prix. There's been some illustrious names to win in Stuttgart here before, and Karolina Pliskova adds her name to that list. Not just that, of course, we'll get to drive that Porsche car away too.
Karolina meinte zuvor, der Porsche Tennis Grand Prix sei eines der besten Turniere des Jahres. Das stimmt nicht ganz. Jedes Jahr wählen die Spielerinnen das beste Turnier des Jahres. Und zum 9. Mal war es im letzten Jahr der Porsche Tennis Grand Prix, meine Damen und Herren. Herzliche Gratulation. Und zum Einstimmen schauen wir noch einmal zurück auf 2017.
Premier Tournament of the year for last year, and you have to say, really, it's got to be in the running again. I mean, 13 of the world's top 15 players were here. I mean, it's almost another level of a Premier Tournament. It's very close to a Premier 5 or a Premier Mandatory.
Well, all the players love coming to Stuttgart, and it's not just because of that beautiful car. The facility is incredible. The court surface, well, it's very unique, the indoor clay surface, and the fact also that it's the first European clay court week of the year gives them a great opportunity to prepare themselves for what's ahead.
So I think we now just await the moment that is synonymous with this tournament.
Den Schlüssel zum
That is
Erfolg,
the make of the car, of course. It's the model of the car too.
Schlüssel zum roten Fahrzeug, da hinten in der Ecke. Oliver Blume, bitte übernehmen Sie.
And now she gets the chance to get in that beautiful red car.
I was going to say, now this is when Coco Vandewegue may get a little bit emotional.
For the second time. She did say she was here for the shopping and the cars at the start of the week. I always just wonder how nervous they feel. Although, of course, will not be in the driver's side. It is the main man from Porsche who will get to just roll it down the ramp. Got to unlock the car first, though.
I hope he's got the right keys, and he does. But what a reward for winning this title. Driving away in that car must feel very good.
As I say, 10th title of her career, second clay court title of her career too. 4th straight final she's won. She won 3 titles last year. And they're away. Obviously got to keep the speed down here. Don't want to destroy the clay court either.
Yes, it suits her.
You liking the red?
I like the car. I like everything about it. And slick. And it was a little bit like the performances that she put on this week. Red hot.
It certainly was. Played at 100 miles an hour from start to finish. She so always does. And of course, after this week, well, we've just found out, you've just informed me, she goes back to Prague, which is her only previous clay court tournament that she's won before in her homeland, and she faces her sister, Karolina Pliskova, in round 1. So that will be interesting for Pliskova, but right now she's just going to enjoy these moments here. Becomes the first ever Czech player to win the tennis Grand Prix, or the Porsche Tennis Grand Prix in Stuttgart. What a week it's been for the world number 6, Karolina Pliskova. And as we watch these photos and these moments for the Czech, just gives us time to say goodbye. It's been a great week, Claire. Have you enjoyed it?
It's been fabulous. The tennis has been outstanding. Exciting to see what's going to happen in the next few weeks leading up to the French Open, but we've got some serious contenders, and there's one in our picture.
Yeah, a bit of a surprising final. Of course, 2 big hitters, but it lived up to expectations. So many winners in that final, but it is Karolina Pliskova who ends this week at the Porsche Tennis Grand Prix as the champion. From Claire Curran and myself, Pete Hodges, we wish you a very happy end of the Sunday, and we'll speak to you again soon. Goodbye.